Morning Majlis, talking the stories that are shaping headlines. This is Pulse 95.
This is Pulse 95 and a fantastic day of tennis yesterday. 5.5 hours. 5.5 hours. Two men battling it out for that big title, and Rafael Nadal chasing and wanting to break history, and he did. 21st Grand Slam title, and what a fantastic game it was. Coming back from 2 sets down, Rafa just never gave up.
That's right. Rafael Nadal staged one of the greatest tennis comebacks as he recovered from 2 sets down to defeat Daniil Medvedev in the Australian Open final for a record 21st Grand Slam title. So now he has actually moved past his big 3 rivals, being Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic in the majors title race. And he looked down yesterday and out after losing the opening 2 sets. He had not recovered, obviously, from 2 sets down to win a match since beating Mikhail Yozhny at Wimbledon back in 2007, and had faded physically after the first 2 sets against Denis Shapovalov and also Matteo Berrettini in Melbourne. But his fighting spirit, obviously, kicked in as he recovered from 0-40 at 2-3 in third set. And with Medvedev beginning to look kind of weary and muddled in his shot selection, Nadal pounced at 4-4 before serving out the set 6-4. And from there on, it was Nadal all the way. And after the win, Nadal said that it was one of the most emotional moments of his career. The 35-year-old had played down his chances in the lead-up and during the past 2 weeks following a career-threatening foot problem. And also he contracted the COVID-19 as well. Yet he produced some incredible tennis, picking up an ATP 250 title in Melbourne before the year's first Grand Slam, and also reach a 29th major final and his 6th in Australia as well.
Yeah, and it will also be his or one more major title than his rivals Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic. He was, however, the only one of the 3 who had the chance to come up with this record during the Australian Open. Federer himself has been recovering from knee surgery, and of course Djokovic, we've talked about this quite extensively. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not watching the game from a distance. Both, in fact, used their social media platforms to congratulate Nadal for breaking their 3-way tie atop the men's Grand Slam standing as well. And what an incredible game it was. Pretty dramatic and really beautiful to see the spirit that Rafael Nadal had to carry through and win the title through this.
Yeah, exactly. And I like how Novak's statements on social media started off by congratulating Ashley Barty first for the amazing performance in front of a home crowd, and then said to Rafael Nadal for your 21st Grand Slam. Amazing achievement, always impressive fighting spirit that prevailed another
Did you watch
time.
it yesterday?
I did.
Game?
Well, it was a funny way of watching it. I started watching it around midday-ish, around 12 o'clock. It's around 1 o'clock.
How long did it take again?
5.5 hours.
5.5.
So I started watching the game. I said, okay, khalas, I'll go to this car picnic that was taking place down in Safa Park. I drove towards it. It was very busy, so I drove along and did my other chores, came back home and started watching, and the guys were still on it, and it was still going on, and I spent about a good 4 hours outside doing my usual chores to come back and still be able to catch the game. And it was very, very impressive to see how
But you watched the final moment.
The final moments, the final sets I did, and it was incredible. It was great to see Rafa battling it out, because both the guys looked very tired, really shattered. And to see that great performance by Rafael, and then obviously he did speak in the post-match ceremony, and he said that I wasn't sure if I'm going to be taking part in this because injury scares were quite out there, and even Roger Federer on a social media post says that what a match to my friends and great rival Rafael Nadal. A few months ago we were just joking about being both on crutches. Amazing, and never underestimate a great champion, and certainly the greatest Grand Slam champion of all. It is Rafael Nadal.
Yeah, absolutely incredible performance as well. And this is not all for us this morning about Australia. We've talked about Novak Djokovic's drama trying to enter the country to play the Australian Open. But someone else slated to enter Australia is going to be Kanye West. He's been warned by the country to get vaccinated or just not show up at all. Is this going to be the next saga? We'll be talking about this throughout the program this morning, so do stay tuned. And as always, we'd love to hear your takes on the stories that matter. So do join us on the text lines at 4215. This is Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of The Morning Majlis, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.